Hi, everyone. This is Holistic Me TV. This is Khristee Rich. This is a brand new show on YouTube. I want to remind you to go ahead and click that bell, subscribe for the whole season. So, this show is all about holistic health and wellness. It's all about women's health and wellness, and it's also about the pregnancy journey. So, today I have a guest from Charleston, South Carolina. Very excited to introduce Tina to you. Tina and I have known each other for a long time. We go way back, all the way to high school days. We were in the same boarding school, and I will introduce you to Tina right now. So I'm going to read her bio. So Tina Clarke is a Usui Tibetan Holy Fire Reiki Master Teacher with a holistic business Stargazing Angel LLC. She offers energy healing, Reiki sessions, shamanic healing sessions, tarot readings, mediumship readings, and classes online and locally in the Charleston, South Carolina area. Okay, welcome, Tina.
Hey, Christy, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Sure.
So, Tina, you are in a similar field as myself. You are a shamanic Reiki practitioner. So, can you take us a little bit back on how you became a healer? Did you always know that you wanted to be a healer? I don't know about you. I know we've changed a lot since high school days, but back in high school days, I had no plans of being a healer. I had no understanding about healing. I didn't even understand spirituality that much. So take us back, share your story. How did you get involved in the work that you do today?
Okay, around 2011, 2012, I started just diving into spirituality and esoteric teachings. I started meditating, learning how to meditate, and I was diving into all these topics like reincarnation,
Yes.
and stuff that excited me and I was really interested in. I mean, I've always been interested in those topics, but for some reason I had my second child. That was going to be it. And I was finally looking for my purpose, like looking for my passion, like what's next for me.
Yes.
So in 2014, I took a tarot class with my Reiki teacher and absolutely loved it. And I
Mm,
asked her, what else do you teach?
yes.
And so she said, well, I teach Reiki and I also teach shamanism. And I said yes to all of it and took every class that she taught.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And then you decided to become a healer. So, can you describe a little bit for people what energy work is and also specifically what shamanism is? I know some people may be more familiar with Reiki. I think a lot more people know about Reiki, have had a Reiki session, or have become certified in Reiki. But I think there's a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of question marks about what is shamanism and what happens in a session. So, can you break it down for everyone? What is energy work and what is shamanism?
Yes, so we are souls in a body and we have an energy or an aura around us, an energy field around us. So that energy field can need an extra boost of healing, which Reiki is perfect for, or other energy healing modalities are perfect for. And it looks at us as multidimensional beings that is more than just a meat suit that has chemical imbalances. Please,
Yes,
can we get
yes.
away from this definition of what we are? So we are complex beings. And not only are we experiencing this lifetime, but we are also multitasking in other lifetimes. And sometimes issues and problems bleed over from either childhood or these other lifetimes, and they come up for healing in this one. And
Yes.
so my job is to help people figure out where their problems are coming from
Hmm.
and try to get to the root cause of that. And when you get to the root, you heal it on
Yes.
all levels
Yes.
automatically. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Yes, I'm all about
Yeah,
the root cause too. Absolutely. Beautiful.
right, right. So we do a lot of digging, and that takes a lot of experience in understanding the chakras and what they mean,
Mhm.
and reading people energetically, looking at them as more than a body full of chemicals.
Yes.
Um,
Can you say a little bit
there,
about what the chakras are, just for people who aren't familiar?
sure. So there's seven main chakras in the body. There's more, but in Reiki, you really don't need to understand more than seven. And they go from the root down at the bottom of your spine all the way to your crown. And each one represents different areas of your life. So if you tell me that your neck is hurting, I'm going to focus on your throat chakra. And I know that the throat represents your ability to speak your truth and your ability to ask for things for yourself,
Yes.
and your authenticity. So if there's anyone that you feel challenged with, or it might be just you challenging yourself, that throat chakra is going to be off. So if you understand the chakras, you'll understand everything that's going on in your body and why it might be troubling you or challenging you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And can you say a little bit about shamanism? What is shamanism? And what is the type of
Shamanism.
shamanism that you do?
Okay. Well, when my teacher taught me, there wasn't any type of shamanism that she taught me.
Okay.
She had done a lot of self-taught work, but because she couldn't find the teachers, there were
Oh,
no
really?
teachers locally, so she would have to travel to another part of Virginia, and she did train with another shaman for a while. But a lot of it was, hey, this seems really familiar to me.
Mm,
I'm going to practice this. And then she would practice on her friends or on volunteers. And so I got this question recently: what kind of shamanism do I practice? And how I can tell you is what I see and experience in the spirit world when I travel there for
mm,
answers.
mm,
So I can tell you that my shamanism involves a lot of indigenous people,
mhm,
a lot of indigenous scenes and environments,
mhm.
with a little Egyptian thrown in there,
Beautiful. Love that.
and a little African thrown in there.
Wonderful. Love it. Great.
So if I could describe my shamanism, I think it's primarily indigenous shamanism,
Okay.
the ancient practices of our ancestors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. Well said. So I just asked because there are many different types of shamanism. And I think also because many people are not familiar with shamanism, they think it's all the same. So for me, I've been a holistic healer for over 18 years, and I studied with a man who is actually from Siberia, Russia. And so I studied Russian shamanism. So Russian shamanism is very different from indigenous shamanism, very different from other types of shamanism. So take us into more about what is shamanism? What do you do in a session? How
Well,
can
I
you?
want to add one more thing about my shamanism.
Perfect. Go ahead.
I am a spirit shamanism. So I work with spirits and they work with me. So
Yes.
I'm not a herbal shaman. I'm not that's primarily how I heal and I help heal others is with my spirit helpers, my power animals.
Beautiful.
And I have the ability to go into other dimensions and find answers in the spirit world. So
Great.
I'm a spiritual shaman. Yeah.
Okay. So describe for the audience what is a power animal, excuse me. Who are these helpers who are helping you with the spiritual world to help your clients?
So power animals are aspects of yourself that represent qualities of yourself. And the very first shamanic journey that I ever did and that I teach others to do is to meet your power animals, because you never want to journey without them.
Yes.
So they kind of hold you up, protect you, accompany you into these strange places that you may visit in the spirit world. And so they just represent you. And beyond the journeys, they're always with you, just like your angels and your guides. So if you need a little extra boost of protection, you can call on them anytime. They're
Yes.
not limited to the journey, you know. So that's the wonderful thing about them. And everybody has them. And the difference between power animals and spirit animals or totem animals are power animals are your protectors, and they stay with you a long time. Like mine haven't changed since I first started journeying. I've
You mind?
added to it,
Yeah.
but not taken away.
You mind sharing with us some of your power animals?
Yes, so it's the Black Panther,
I thought so. Yes.
and the hawk, and a newer addition is a rabbit.
Oh, beautiful. Wonderful.
Yeah. And so a spirit animal would be if you keep encountering a certain kind of bird over and over again, and in the wild, you notice they're getting close to you, they're flying close to you, they're looking at you. You
Mm,
know,
trying to
recently I
communicate.
was hiking in um, Ohio, and we were in the forest, and a deer just appeared. I mean, I really didn't even notice it till I looked up, and the deer just stared at me, probably
Oh,
for a full 10 seconds.
I love that. I love deer. Deer are one of my animals I'm very close to. For me today, I
Yeah,
saw a grasshopper. A grasshopper was staring at me. I'm like, okay, I see you. I see you. I see your
yeah.
medicine. Yep.
So when you're a shaman in any lineage, you're paying attention to nature, and you're paying attention to messages that
Yes.
may be coming to you in nature through wild animals a lot. So we really pay attention to those things, and we look those things up. What does this mean?
Yes. Yes. So we can
Yeah,
search online and we can get deeper into the meaning. Sometimes we may
right,
intuitively sense what it means, but sometimes there's even more if you do the research, if you go deeper.
right.
Yes.
And
And
so those
hummingbird is
there's
also
spirit,
one of mine too. Hummingbird, I'm very close to. I just love what the hummingbird symbolize joy and peace and adventure and optimism. So that's one of mine.
yeah, I love hummingbirds. So this morning I was being stared at by a lizard, so I probably should look up again, remind myself what lizard represents.
Yes, yes, exactly. And which type of lizard, if it was very specific, they also have specific meanings for like a chameleon, etc. So
Hmm.
let's go more into shamanism, and I'll share a little bit more about Russian shamanism, how it's different. But what are the different ways that people can work with you in a shamanic session?
So when you see me for a session, you can sign up for energy healing, which I'm a Reiki master teacher, but I'm also trained in theta healing and integrative energy therapy
Hmm,
and EFT
great.
and more. So I kind of combine all those energy healing modalities together. And plus, I'm a natural psychic medium, so it's not really
Yes.
like I'm going to cut that off while I'm working on you. And then if you want more of a shamanic energy healing session, I have a session that really clears you out. If this person is aware that, oh, I have this problem and I think it's interdimensional, I think it's from another lifetime, or I keep
Hmm.
having this weird dream over and over again, then we might do a shamanic energy healing session that focuses on that. And that, well, I would remove attachments and cords and, all those things. So that's a little more heavy duty.
Okay, so they can
And
come with an
then,
intention of why am I having this bad dream? What does it mean? What's the meaning?
right. And then I do shamanic journey. So I
Mhm.
can journey on anything for you, health, relationships, career, or you could just journey into your other lifetimes if you like, and I can
Wonderful.
get that information for you.
I would love that. I think that's fun to go back into other lifetimes. So, can you
Yeah.
describe a little bit what is journeying for those who are not familiar with the term? What is journeying?
So, a shamanic journey is a self-guided meditation with structure. So, when you are a shaman or practicing shamanism, you really need to be clairaudient and clairvoyant in order to do it. and
Hmm.
you have to be very focused. And this is where the years and years of meditation are going to benefit you if you ever get this training. So you need to be focused, but allowing at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't dictate what happens, but you have to be open to what happens. And so when I journey, I utilize the tree of life. That's my portal into the spirit world. And I go find that. I meet my power animals first.
Yes.
And then we go enter that tree through a door, ask the question inside the tree, which has a direct connection to the creator. So sometimes I hear the creator within the tree.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And I don't hear anybody else. I just hear him.
Okay. Okay.
And then when I feel like I'm ready, I exit that tree through another door and then I just look around and see what's before me. And usually a path is there and I follow the path until I see a location, a village, a temple, a church, whatever it may be, or I see someone looking at me, noticing me, and
Hmm.
then greets me and takes me to the next location.
Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah. And then you keep doing that until you get your answers. And when the journey is done, you'll see the tree of life already again. And that's the sign you're done with the
Beautiful.
journey.
Full
And
circle.
then yeah. And then you enter that tree again and come back to this dimension.
Beautiful. What a beautiful experience. And so when you work with clients, do you do drumming? Do you play music? How do you set the scene?
I play music because, kudos to those people who can journey and drum at the same time. I
Yeah.
don't think I can do that, or I haven't tried. I could drum for other people, but not myself. I don't think that's way too much. I mean, so I play my favorite drumming music, and if the client's with me, then we lay down together. And
Wonderful.
I
Yeah.
journey for them, and they just lay there. They don't have to do anything. They just relax, meditate. Sometimes they see things, sometimes they don't. Depends on their abilities.
Hmm.
And then remotely, we would just set a time for me to journey for you. And and ideally the client would be laying down or in a relaxed state
Yeah.
during that time when I'm journeying for them.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And also you do soul retrieval. Can you describe
Right.
a little bit what that is?
So because we're multidimensional beings and we've experienced very intense events, either positive or negative, it doesn't have to be negative, but you may have a piece of your energy that's still stuck in that event.
Mm,
And you'll know that I always listen to the words that people use to describe what they're going through, and they will say, I feel like I'm missing something.
mm.
And when they say those words to me, I recommend doing a soul retrieval because your energy is somewhere and you need to get it back.
Mm.
So, journey with the soul retrieval in mind, I go to those events. And in those events, you could be little Khristee, or you could be a male priest, or you could be someone else. And I figure out where you are and I talk to them about coming back to you now.
Okay.
Because if I was doing it for you, Khristee, I would say, Christy's looking for you and she would like you to come back.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then they realize they don't need to be in that event anymore, especially
Okay.
if it's negative.
Okay.
And
So let me see if I can play this back for you, make sure I understand. I do different work. I don't do soul retrieval with my shamanism. So when people come to you and they use words like, I'm missing something or I feel stuck, then you know that they have a piece of them, a piece of their soul somewhere else in the past, in their childhood, perhaps, but it may also be possibly a past life. It may be a different lifetime that they still have a piece of them there. So they're not completely whole right now. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay.
so imagine you had little pieces of yourselves spread out, and that would deplete your energy. And
Yes.
when you're feeling like you're missing something, you naturally want that energy with you. You don't want to be stuck in that event. The event is done. You
Yes.
don't need to be there anymore.
Hmm.
So as a shaman, I go and collect those pieces of energy and I bring it back to that person.
Beautiful.
And the result is they should feel more whole. They should have more energy and feel more complete.
Yes, yes. Beautiful. I have had that experience one time working with someone, and you'd feel like shiny and polished and new and bright and energized. It's very exciting how you just feel pure, just clear. And
Mhm.
so what you're describing, if I can again play it back, is that it's kind of like they have traumatic experiences from their past and certain parts of you stay there. So it is a trauma. It is a difficult time that you stay in that place. Is that
Or
correct?
it could be a happy time.
It could be a happy time. Really?
And
Okay.
you never wanted to leave. For example, I did a soul retrieval for a friend and I found her as a young girl swinging in her backyard.
Really? Interesting.
Yes. So I went to talk to her and I said, "What are you doing here?" You know, she said, and she explained to me she had a special family friend who had passed and he since then, and that's their special time was spending time together in that backyard while she was
Mm.
swinging.
Mm. Okay.
So still, it's a positive event, but her energy was stuck there. So we wanted to bring that energy back to still have those memories, but her energy actually didn't have to be there anymore.
So it can also be those who have unresolved grief, perhaps, that they really miss a loved one. They want to go back to those happy times, but they're no longer there.
Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
interesting. Very interesting. Okay, and I'd wanted to again spell it out to the audience. You mentioned certain terms, certain terminology, clairaudient and clairvoyant. So I know you are both of those, and I believe you're also clairsentient, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Can you describe what that means?
So clairaudient is the ability to hear spirit. So, for example, I can hear my angels and guides talking to me, but I can also have a ghost talk to me, or
Mm-hmm.
I could have a star person talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
if that's the way they communicate. So that's clairaudience.
Mm-hmm.
Clairvoyance is a bit ability to see other dimensions, to see spirit. So I can see what they look like in the journeys. I can see my environment.
Mm-hmm.
I can touch my environment.
Yes.
It's in color.
Yes. Yes. Always color. Yes.
It's yeah,
I
all
can
of
see
it,
very
you
clearly.
know?
Yes.
Yeah. And then clairsentient means feeling. So you have feelings. Um, like you feel that you're not alone in the room, that there is a being looking at you or
Mhm.
wanting to talk to you or wanting to approach you. That's the clairsentience.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for describing. Wonderful. So again, shamanism can be different. I do different types of shamanism. So I studied Russian shamanism, and the part of Russian shamanism that's similar to what you do is that we connect with the astral plane. We connect to the person's guides, their guardian angels sometimes. Sometimes it is ancestors. Sometimes it is their power animals. Sometimes it is archangels. So for each session, the client will have an intention, and based on their intention, it may be a different archangel that comes in. It may be the power animal that wants to come in and support them. And then also, I do really connect them, ground them to the earth. So for Russian shamanism, it's about connecting you to Mother Earth, connecting you to different plants for healing. So for me, I do recommend different natural remedies, different natural ways to heal. And it's also balancing the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, and healing through breath. So there's many different types of shamanism. So it's very important for people to know that yes, if you really like soul retrieval, really make sure the shamanic practitioner does soul retrieval. If you really like journeying, make sure he or she does journeying. And again, if you wish for like energy work, that's what I have been doing for the last 18 years. I actually just stopped doing healing sessions, but everyone is different. Everyone has different talents. Some people are clairvoyant, some people are clairaudient, some people are clairsentient, some people are claircognizant. So that's clear knowing, just knowing things, just knowing random facts and history and etc. that they couldn't know. It's just that it just comes to them. So for me, I'm mostly clairvoyant, but I'm also clairsentient. So can you describe how working with you has helped your clients? Can you describe how it has helped them with their health and wellness?
Yeah, my favorite clients are the ones that come to me and say they tried everything and nothing worked.
Yes, my favorite too. I say I help those who've tried everything to no avail before they came to me. Yes.
Right, so that would probably scare other people, but for me, I know they're ready to heal, and
Yes.
that's when the miracles happen.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they have nothing to lose, and they will try. They're here trying you, maybe for the final time before surgery or some big decision. And
Mm-hmm.
so I also love a challenge. So,
Yes.
I always meet the challenge. But I did have a couple of years ago a client who had severe headaches and migraines for years. And she came to me and she said, those words, I've tried everything and nothing's worked. And I always have a headache. And
Mm,
in fact, she had a headache when she came to see me.
mm,
And she said her her neurosurgeon was recommending surgery. And I said, okay,
mm,
well, let's get at it. Let's try. And so she saw me for a couple of sessions, and I finally saw this etheric arrow in her head. And I knew right away this was how she died in another lifetime.
mm.
And this arrow obviously was causing the headaches and the migraines.
Yeah, that's gotta
So
hurt.
as a Reiki master, you can remove that energy with your hands. You just use your hands like tools and cut around the area and pull all that energy out.
Yes.
And you send it to the earth to be transformed. Then when you remove all of that, you seal it with more Reiki. You seal that space and you seal it up. And so after the session, I told her what I found and I said, I really think this is it. But you have to tell me what happens.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. So I didn't hear from her for weeks and weeks, right? Not uncommon, right? Sometimes
Yes.
you never
Yes.
hear from a client again.
Yeah.
And she finally texted me and she said, by the way, I have not had a headache since I last saw you, but I wasn't even believing it was true. So I waited and waited, but it has not returned.
Wonderful. And she had been having them frequently. Yes?
Yeah, and she never had
And
surgery.
she
She
didn't.
never had to have surgery.
Beautiful. Beautiful. See, this is very important for people to know that you can heal naturally. Doctors may say that medication's the only way. They may say surgery's the only way, or they may say that you have an incurable condition and there's nothing you can do. But again, practitioners like Tina and myself, we can get to the root cause and we can help you so that you heal naturally, no medication, easily and quickly.
Yeah. So I needed to be clairvoyant to be able to see that, although
Yes.
you could probably feel or know it and not necessarily see it, but I saw it.
Hmm.
And I was trained in psychic surgery as a Reiki master to remove it.
Wonderful.
And that was the root cause. So
Yes.
you remove the root cause, it healed it.
Yes. Beautiful. And then she was a believer because it didn't come back.
Right.
Yes, beautiful. And can you give any other examples of clients you've worked with who had a condition and they couldn't overcome it for a long time and they came to you and got some relief?
I had another client that stands out to me. She had a very stressful job
Mm.
and she had pain in the shoulder. And this is another client that was always in pain. She never had a break from it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
she came to me a couple of times and I worked on her shoulder. And there wasn't any kind of arrow or anything in there that I found. It was just working on her on an energetic level and clearing out her chakras with energy healing.
Hmm.
And after the first session, she had no pain for a couple
Wonderful.
of days, which was huge for her,
Yeah,
right? And I said, and it's good for us as healers to ask, how long have you been in constant pain? She's, it's been a year.
a year of
So
constant
this,
pain.
right. And she
Hmm.
finally had a break in pain for a couple days.
That's huge. That's huge.
It
So
is
for people,
huge.
it's huge. So for people who've never had constant pain, chronic condition, you don't understand what it's like to be in pain every single day. So I had a chronic illness for 15 years. Other people who are around me, they wanted to support me, but they couldn't understand that I was sick every single day. I didn't have a day where I felt great. I didn't have a day where I felt like I used to. Some days were better, some days were worse, but pain every single day until I got to the root cause. So it's huge when you're able to help a client get some relief for a few days. And then, of course, they can come back and then get more relief.
Right. So after her second session, she started doing yoga, which is
Wonderful.
something that she loved to do, but she was in too much pain to
Yeah.
do yoga.
Yeah.
So she
I
was
understand.
getting better and better. And I believe we saw about each other about 3 sessions. And then I didn't hear from her for a long time. And then she came back to me eventually and she said, "Oh, I quit my job."
Wow, that's a big change. So
So
maybe
what
that was a part of her not feeling so well. She was in a job she shouldn't have been in. It was
so
against her
what I love
alignment.
about Reiki and energy healing is some people respond to it so much that they make these big life changes really
Yes.
quickly. And you
Yes.
know this is what they needed to do, right?
Yes, yes, because they're finally getting into alignment. They're listening to their heart and they're connecting with their spirit. So I think this is something very important for people to understand is when you get in touch with your spirituality, when you get in touch with your spirit, then you make different changes because you're not living out of fear. You're not living out of conditioning. You are doing what's best for your spirit to expand, to grow, to evolve, and to live your purpose.
And this is what Reiki and energy healing does is it gets you unstuck. It
Yes.
gets rid of all that energy that's bogging you down and holding you back. And then suddenly you have the energy and inspiration to make the decisions you need to be happy.
Yes. Beautiful. Very well said. So how about past lives? Have you ever had a client who has had a certain condition or a phobia and they just can't get over it? And you realize, oh, this is not from this lifetime. This is from another lifetime.
Yeah, most phobias are. If you can't identify what happened as a child to make you afraid. So
Hmm.
I've had phobias myself that didn't really make sense, like a fear
Hmm.
of fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've done work on myself. But one of my shamanism students, I taught her shamanic journeying, and in that class, she journeyed and she encountered a large spider. I mean, huge. And she was very afraid of spiders.
Mm.
And she knew why because her uncle threw a spider at her when she was little. And
Oh, no.
right. I think that was the trigger for her. But she had a conversation with the spider. She
This large
faced this,
spider. Was it like life
yes,
size?
in her journey. Yeah, she
Wow.
said it was huge.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. That is very scary.
So she had a conversation with that spider, and the spider said, "I'm not here to hurt you."
Hmm.
And those words were very healing for her. And once she came out of it, her whole view of spiders changed. So
Yes.
whereas she would immediately become afraid and want to kill it, take it out of the
Yeah.
house, now she can look at spiders. She asks her husband to take it out of the home. She gives
Yeah.
it a
Save
chance
the
to
spider.
live.
Yes. Save the spiders, everyone. They're good. Save the spiders. I do the same thing. I do the same thing. I used to be kind of squeamish around spiders, but then I saw them all the time. And then I started watching them and making their spider webs. And then I looked up the animal medicine and it's all about creation. It's all about creativity, like weaving stories. And I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm a storyteller. I need to get my stories out there.
Hmm. And the funny thing about fear is if you fear something, it keeps coming to you till you overcome that fear.
Yes. Yes. Very true.
So, on Facebook, I have neighbors are like, my whole house is surrounded by black widow spiders. And I'm like, you must be afraid of these spiders because they wouldn't be surrounding you. Your fear is attracting them because you need to learn to make peace with your
Yeah.
fears.
You have to face
Yeah,
it. We have to face our fears. A lot of people try to avoid it, to suppress it, but it will just keep coming back if you do not
right,
address your fears. Yeah.
right. Even with snakes, like I have people, oh, copperheads are coming into my yard, and I've never seen one. Like I've lived in South Carolina for 7 years. It's because I'm not afraid of snakes.
Good.
It
Good.
just, if you're afraid of something, it's going to come to you. So it's a sign that you need to work on it. You need to overcome your fear.
Yes, very well said. Anything else you would like to let those who are watching know about energy work, shamanism, bust any myths, how it's beneficial
Wow.
that they may not realize?
I think that in some traditional circles, there's this belief that you have to be identified as a shaman as a child and raised with a mentor. And not all of us had that opportunity. I certainly
Yes,
didn't.
I didn't either.
But remember, we have trained in this in other lifetimes.
Yes,
So if you happen to be good at it and it's coming easier to you than most, that means you've done the work.
yes, exactly.
So I say I call myself a shaman because I do shamanic healing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so did I have a mentor? No. Did I feel like I wish I had a mentor as a child? Sure. It would have answered a lot of questions for me growing up.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
I got trained in later in life, and what was important was I kept practicing.
Yes, yes.
So
Practice makes perfect.
today, I write down every single journey I do in soul retrieval. I've done over 90.
Wow, you write them all down. Beautiful.
Yep, yep.
Yes.
And I have a book. It's in draft form, and when the divine timing is right, I'll release it. But it describes over 70 of those journeys and soul retrievals.
Wonderful. How exciting. I can't wait for your book to come out. I didn't know about that. Wonderful. Well, I think this is really important for people to hear because a lot of people are drawn to become a healer. A lot of people, like you said, do not have a mentor. And there is some talk about, okay, only those who worked with shamans in Siberia and really were from that lineage and all of that, then you are a shaman. But I say it's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle just like holistic health and wellness is a lifestyle to really focus on your health every day. Shamanism is a philosophy. It's how you view life. It's how you see that we can heal naturally through food, through plants. We can heal naturally through music. We can heal naturally through being in community. All of this is important for our health and wellness. Connecting to the divine, connecting to our angels, to know that we are supported beyond what we can see. And also, you said it so beautifully. We have talents from many lifetimes that now we can bring into this lifetime and use them all. So, if
Right.
we were, in Egypt, we can bring that medicine in. If we were Native American in a past life, we can bring that in. If we were I don't know, a doctor. We can bring that medicine in. So we can bring all these different talents and knowledge into this lifetime, which is very exciting. And that makes us so much more powerful right now as a healer. So it is a great time to be a healer because we need healing. Everyone's going through trauma and drama and stress. And, times are complicated. And to be reminded of how important our spirit is and our spirituality, it's very important for people to remember.
Yeah. Not only can we access that wisdom, we're supposed to
Yes.
access that wisdom. So remember, you've done the work, you have the right to access that lifetime, that energy, that wisdom, and bringing it into the now. So
Yes.
that's all about moving into the new earth and being a higher vibrational human, that
Yes.
we're not going to need the past or the future. We're just going to be able to access what we need right now. And that's
Hmm.
all that matters.
Beautiful. So well said. So well said. Well, I hope this episode inspires those who have watched. I hope you learned something new. Please go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and leave us a comment or a question. We will circle back if you have a question. And also, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you can watch the full series for all of these amazing guests. And so, Tina, how can people learn more about the work that you do? Do you have a website? Do you have an email? How would you like them to get in touch with you?
I have a website. My business name is Stargazing Angel LLC. You can Google that, or it's mine. The website name is tinakinneyclarke.com, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, beautiful. And all of that information, all the links will be below this video, everyone. So you can just go ahead and click on those links and find out more about Tina. Contact her for her amazing services. Definitely reach out if you are in need of healing. She does do remote sessions as well as in-person sessions in the Charleston area. And again, Tina and I go way back, so I definitely recommend her, even though I haven't had a session yet. Maybe one day.
I think we need to do an exchange.
Okay. Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should. Yeah, I no longer do sessions anymore, but perhaps we could do a trade for each other so we know about each other's skills and talents. Beautiful. Well, thank you, Tina. It was so wonderful to have you on today. And any final words?
Well, thank you so much,
Okay.
Christy, for the
You're
opportunity to be on your show.
you're very welcome. Thanks again, everyone, for watching Holistic Me TV. And again, don't forget to subscribe for more episodes. Thanks again. Bye-bye.